Have you ever stopped to think that maybe your life isn't just a random series of events, but that it's actually a sacred story? A divine script where you get to be a co-author? Well, that's exactly the idea we're going to dive into today. Let's start with a question that I bet hits home for a lot of us at some point or another. Do you ever feel like you're just walking your path completely on your own? Like you're trying to figure out all of life's challenges without a guide? And right away, the answer we get is this incredibly powerful reassurance. You are never walking alone. There is a divine presence right there beside you, and get this, not as a judge, but as your greatest cheerleader, someone who wants nothing more than for you to succeed. And once you really let that sink in, that you're not alone, it kind of changes everything, right? It allows us to shift our perspective. It's so easy to get caught up in our imperfections, the things we think we're missing. But what if those very things are actually a gateway for grace? So, let's get real for a second. Think about the things you see as your flaws. The gaps you see in your abilities, in your personality, or your life story. We all have them. They're the parts of ourselves we usually try to hide or fix. But here's a radical idea. What if we just reframe that whole concept? What if, instead of being deficits, our gaps are actually sacred white space? I mean, what a powerful thought that in the places where we feel most vulnerable, that's exactly where divine wisdom has the room it needs to come in and create something amazing. Okay, so if we're meant to embrace these gaps, how do we actually, grow? Well, this isn't about just sitting back and waiting for magic to happen. It's about using the tools we've been given. So let's open up the toolbox for this journey. 26. Just the number 26. Now, that probably sounds totally random, right? But it actually represents something incredibly practical and powerful. It's the key to a whole toolbox for unlocking your potential one small choice at a time. Okay, so here's what that's all about. It's this idea of the 26 switches. Think of them as a set of simple, positive actions you can take in your own life. I mean, things as basic as getting enough sleep, or being kind, or just taking a moment to be quiet. Every single time you make the choice to flip one of those switches, you're taking a conscious step toward becoming your true self. And when you start flipping these switches, something really incredible begins to happen. All those small daily choices start to connect. They start to weave together, transforming what might feel like a chaotic life into a story that actually makes sense, a story with meaning. And this really highlights a fundamental choice we all have. It's about the lens you choose to see your life through. On one hand, you can see it as just a bunch of random, disconnected events. Or you can see a meaningful story unfolding, one that's woven together with purpose and with love. The goal is to make that shift, from seeing chaos to seeing coherence. And that's when you get to this absolutely beautiful realization. Your story has a divine author, and the golden thread weaving through every single page, through the wins, the losses, the joy, and the pain, is love. In this kind of story, nothing is wasted. Everything has its place. Now, understanding this is one thing. It's inspiring for sure. But acting on it, that's where the real transformation begins. And the best part is, your next chapter doesn't have to wait for some perfect moment. It can start right now. So here it is, your call to action broken down into 4 simple, powerful steps. First, remember. Remember who you are, your divine nature, your potential. Second, don't just think about it. Do it. Take that step. Third, do it right. Do it with real intention and care. And finally, and maybe most importantly, do it right now. Don't wait. Your next chapter begins today. And listen, this isn't just some abstract theory pulled out of thin air. The developer of these very concepts shares this personal message, something born from decades of work and a deep driving passion and belief in your infinite potential. I love this part because it reminds us that we're all in this together. We're all a work in progress, right? This isn't about reaching some perfect finish line. It's about walking the path together. So, think of this as a heartfelt blessing as you get ready to take your own first step. So, it all comes down to this one last powerful question for you. The pen is in your hand. That sacred white space on the page is waiting. What will be the very first word you write in the next chapter of your divine story?